Hi everyone, it's me, Lyric Soul Tarot here, and today is my day off, so I'll look a hot mess, but, yeah, I wanted to do this video, and I really hate when I make videos without makeup on. I don't like it. And I didn't feel like putting makeup on today, so it was a struggle. But we are here today in my kitchen. Yes, there's a Christmas tree in my kitchen. I'm that extra. There's also one in my living room. But we are here in my kitchen today because I needed more room than I have upstairs in my bedroom. Because today we're going to go through my hits, misses, and meh of 2017. Cue the intro. I don't have an intro. I really want to get an intro. Anyways, so let's start with the hits of 2017 in terms of tarot and oracle decks. So let's start with my hits. So we're going to start with oracle decks in terms of my hits section because I don't have that many oracle decks. So the first one is going to be, oh, she did not plan this out. My first one is Whispers of Lord Ganesha, and it is by Angela Hartfield. And I have reviews to review unboxings of all of these decks on my channel. I will link some of them above in the cards, but otherwise you can just glance through my videos at your leisure. But this was actually the first oracle that I felt drawn to working with. So this is definitely a hit for me. Like I said, I'm not an oracle person. I really want to be. I'm trying hard to be an oracle person, but it's just kind of hard for me. But this oracle is simply gorgeous. Amazing artwork. Oh, this card. Oh, understanding is beautiful. But this deck is amazing. I reach for it a lot when I need an oracle reading or just like a one card pull. And then the second oracle on my hits list is the Nicoletta. That's gonna fucking bother me. Okay, hang on a minute. There we go. We got it. So the next is, because I'm gonna keep putting them over here. And anyways, sorry for the light change. She was stupid before. But yes, the next one is the Sekolah oracle. Y'all know I'm obsessed with Nicoletta Sekolah. Love her artwork. And I just recently got this deck. I haven't done many oracle pulls with it yet, but it is great. So there is that. So that's literally just the two. That's the only two oracles I have in my hits list for 2017. Now let's move on to the tarot. First we have in this little bag the Shadowscapes Tarot. And this is a hit for me. It almost wasn't, but I actually used this in my year ahead for the year 2017. So I got to work with it on a monthly basis, and I really grew to love it. The artwork is gorgeous, but the readings are really amazing with it. So that moved from my meh list to my yeah list. Yeah, nah, meh. That's what we should have called this. The next one is a newer deck that I got, and it is the rabito. Now, despite the issues that I have with this deck, which I do have issues with it since working with it, the issues are that nothing with how it reads and nothing with like my connection to it. The only thing that bothers me about it is that I rifle shuffle and some of the cards are like torn a little bit. I know the Fool is starting to, something's happening there with him, and then the Queen of Pence is actually torn, and I contacted the creator of the deck and, you know, asked her if she had an extra Queen of Pence lying around, and she sent me one, but it was way too big for the deck, and I can't cut it because it's gilded, so it would definitely stick out either way. So I just put the old one back in here, and I'm gonna have to like not rifle shuffle with it, which irritates me because I really don't feel like this is good enough shuffle for me. That's not a good enough shuffle. But if that's what I have to do to work with this deck, then that's what I have to do to work with this deck. It's a gorgeous deck. I'm so connected to this deck, so I'm gonna do what I got to do to make it work. So that is definitely on my hits list. And I haven't had it that long. I've had it for what? When did I put the video up for it? Maybe a month? If that. Next we have, in here, we have my Tarot Muha. Or, yeah, Tarot Muha. I always either say Tarot Muha or Muha Tarot, but it's Tarot Muha. And this deck is just a breath of fresh air, honestly. I love this deck so much. I have a deep connection to this deck. Pretty sure it's my hug deck, not because it gives me like soft readings or anything like that, because that's not the case, but it gives me a sense of home, a sense of peace. And that's why I sit here, go through it the entire video. So, I just had a bunch of sherbet, and so I'm like burping it up. It's sexy. Then we have this, which I think you probably already know what this is. This is my Nicoletta Sekolah Tarot. For obvious reasons. Love Nicoletta Sekolah. This deck gives me such great readings. I got this deck and I unboxed it. And from the moment I unboxed it, I haven't stopped using it. And the next one I show you is the same for me. Like, I got it, I unboxed it, I shuffled it once, and I hadn't put it down since. So there's that, and then the other one that's like that is my Tarot of the Magical Forest. I adore this deck. This has to be my favorite deck, hands down. My absolute favorite deck. That's a bold statement to make, but it's true. So cute. Sorry. And the guidebook has like little stories about like the little animals on the cards and everything like that. It's so cute. Oh, I love this deck so much. If I'm gonna do like a 9 times out of 10, I reach for this deck when doing a reading. So almost at the end of my hits, I promise. Okay, so then we have the Luminous Spirit Tarot. This deck, I use a lot for career readings. I use it a lot for goal-oriented readings. It's my only black and white deck at the moment, besides another. Oh, this was my first black and white deck, I should say. I do have another black and white deck, but this is the one I use the most. It's great at career readings. It's great at, I say career readings because I use it for school, like school related things. I use it for goal oriented readings. It's a great deck for that. It literally pulls no punches. It gets straight to business and it tells you what is up. And honestly, it's gorgeous. So that is that one. The next one is the Bad Bitches Tarot. And I recently just got this one too. But this is on the list for mainly being, mainly being a very feminine deck for me to work. Like the energy is very feminine. I don't have a deck like that at all. So I really appreciated and needed this feminine energy to work with. It is also good at career-oriented readings. I love the book because the guidebook is actually one of my favorites because it has so many different sections of meanings. So it has in the sword, so like 8 of Swords, just turned randomly. So it has just like a general meaning, and it has like a meaning for like romantic. It says boudoir, but like it's like for a romantic question. There's business, there's bank, which was financial, and then blocked, which would be like a reversed meaning, or if it is in a negative position in your spread. But that to me, A++. Love this deck. If you want a deck, if you need a deck or want a deck with like feminine energy, I suggest this one because it's great and it has an amazing guidebook. So can't recommend it enough. And then the very last deck that is on my hits list is Starchild Tarot Akashic. I don't know why I sang that. Oh, this deck, you guys. Oh, this deck. This deck is very spiritual for me. It's a spiritual deck. It is gorgeous. The colors just really speak to me. Calms me instantly. I love, from my video yesterday, you know I love pastel. So like these pastel muted colors just really speaks to me. And the readings that I've gotten from this deck are very spiritual. Very spiritual. I love it. And usually I don't like decks with like this kind of photo manipulation. I don't normally go for decks like that. But this deck, it's a good one. It's a good one. And the guidebook for this is actually really nice too. I just left it upstairs. So yeah, that's my hits. Or those are my hits. Oh, I put that on upside down. I'm smart. Those are my hits for 2017 in terms of my tarot collection. Now let's move on to misses. Wah, wah. So like I said previously, everything that you will see here in my misses is going to be up for trade. With the exception of one deck that is already spoken for. So let's start off with the Oracle because there's only one. And I kind of was like about putting this on the list of misses because it was originally in my meh section. But the more I thought about it, the more I put it in my misses. And that is the Vintage Wisdom Oracle. And it's not bad oracle. And it has nothing to do with how it reads. It has nothing to do with the imagery, which is gorgeous. It has nothing to do with any of that. It's literally just me. And the fact that I don't use oracles. So this one I literally just put in this pile. So I might take it off. But if somebody like really wants it, I mean, I'm not gonna hold on to it because it's just honestly collecting dust sitting with me. It's not getting used. And if I can give a deck to somebody who is going to actually use it, I feel a lot better having the deck being used by somebody else than just sitting collecting dust by me. So yes, the oracle has nothing to do with how it reads or how it looks. It's a beautiful, beautiful deck and it's gorgeous. It's just, I don't really use oracles. And now let's move on to the tarot. Some of you might be shocked to find this next deck on this list. It's the OFI Rosa. And I worked in tandem with the Shadowscapes. I pulled a card from the OFI Rosa to work with this deck more. Through working with this deck more monthly, I realized that it's not for me. It's a gorgeous deck. It reads fantastic. There's a little slip in here that has like the meaning of the cards. This is amazing. The little one-liners for the cards is just so great. It has a great energy. It's just honestly, it's me. It's honestly just me. I can't read that well with it, with the images that are here, which is odd because that's what drew me to it in the first place. So it's a miss for me, and it will be moving on to whoever wants to trade for it. The next miss for me is my Line Strider. And the book is actually really good for this. I like the book for it. It's a nice book. She's thick. She got a lot of good information. For me, this deck, I just cannot get past the cardstock, and I tried. I honestly tried. But the art is gorgeous. The cardstock, feeling it now, is actually not that bad, but I think I hyped it up in my own head too much. And I was actually going to use this for my 2018 year ahead polls, but I decided at the last minute not to. And if somebody wanted to trade for this, then it would be better off with them than it is with me. I even moved it out of my box of shame, as I like to call it. It's where I keep all the empty boxes of the decks that I have in bags and stuff like that. And it's also where I keep the decks that I don't pay attention to. So I call it the box of shame. But I even moved it from there onto my actual tarot shelf, and I still didn't use it. So I think that means that it can move on. Last but not least, we have the Annika Tarot. And I got this purely because I saw it going around, and I saw like the amazing reactions that other people were having to this deck. And I was like, oh dang, hell yeah, get me in on that. I wasn't particularly drawn to the artwork, which I usually have to be to work with a deck. So I really took a chance on this one, and it didn't pan out. It just didn't pan out for me. This one is already spoken for. I'm sending it to a lovely person who really needs it right now. So this one's already spoken for, but yeah, I'm just happy it's moving on because I'm not using it. It's just collecting dust sitting in my box of shame. But it's like this card. I love this card. There's a few cards in here that I really love. It's just I couldn't get past most of the imagery, and it just wasn't for me. So yeah, that's actually all of my misses. It's only 4 decks. So not that bad for an entire year. Sorry if I look a little bit disheveled, a little bit different. I uploaded the first half of the video. I uploaded the first half of the video from my phone to my computer, and then while I was doing that, I went outside to get the mail, and it is, I think, like 3 degrees outside right now. Fahrenheit. Let me double check that real quick. Let me fact check myself. Yeah. It's 3 degrees outside, so a little bit chilly. A little bit chilly. But I'm back now, so yay! Let us get down to business. We just have one more section to go, and that is the meh section. So in keeping with the theme, let's start with oracles. And we only have one oracle in the meh section, and that is the Wisdom of the Oracle by Colette Baron-Reid. And this is in the meh section because I really like the imagery. I get a good vibe from the cards, and I like to practice my intuition reading with them. It's just, again, it's an oracle deck, and I have troubles using oracle decks. So I just need to work with it more. But I feel more connected to this than the Vintage Wisdom Oracle, which is why they're in different sections. And the book for this one is pretty decent. So, but yeah, I just have to work with it more, and I think then I'll know if it needs to move on or if it can stay with me. Then let's go with my Lenormand. I have the tin version of Pixie's Astounding Lenormand. And this is a meh for me only because I am currently learning how to use Lenormand. I don't know how to use it. It's like a foreign language to me. I thought it would be similar to Kipper. It's not. I thought since I know Kipper and I am very comfortable with Kipper that I could, you know, get the hang of this quicker. I lied to myself. It's a whole nother thing. So it's in the meh section only because, again, like with the other oracle, I have to work with it. I have to learn more, I have to work with it more, and then I can decide. Next would be the Thoth and the Hermetic Tarot. And I say meh to both of these, and I kind of lumping them together because the Hermetic Tarot is a Thoth-based system. So Thoth is a whole nother beast, just like Lenormand. I have to learn more before I can really dive in and use these and figure out if they're for me or not. So they're just in the meh section until I have time where I can work with them. We have my Ilmangello. My Visconti Sorbo deck. And this is in the meh section only because, I mean, it's gorgeous. It's like absolutely gorgeous. It's expensive. I don't regret paying money for this. It's just gigantic. And I'm terrified to use it, honestly. I actually show those cards a lot whenever I pull this out, so, because it's still in order. It's also a pip deck. So, there's that. So I actually haven't used this yet because, like I said, I'm scared to. I'm scared to use it. It's gorgeous. It's very well made, but it's more of a collection piece to me than an actual working deck, which may sound dumb, but it's a deck that I've been lusting after for a while. And as a history major, I just love having it in my collection, honestly. It's gorgeous, and it's no regrets. No regrets from me. So it's just in my mess section only because it's not a working deck, and I don't use it to read. Maybe one day when I work up enough nerve. All right, and then we have this in here, and this is my Good Tarot by Colette Baron Reed. And this is a meh for me only because, ooh, sticky cards. It's a gorgeous deck. The artwork is beautiful. It's very soft. Oh my gosh, the cards stick together. Oh my god, everything's like just like falling on me right now. I just don't reach for it, and that's not the deck's fault, I don't feel like. It's just I have so many other decks that I would prefer to work with that call to me more often. So I just haven't worked with it. This was another deck that I was actually considering using for my 2018 year ahead, just so I could get to work with it more. However, I decided against that for some reason. I just didn't go for it. But yeah. So hopefully in the coming year I can work with it more, because it is a really nice deck. I like the imagery and everything. So, and then we have one of my most recent purchases. This is the Siamese Tarot. And I put this in the meh section only because I did just recently get it. I haven't been able to really work with it yet, but I'm excited to. It is gorgeous. I don't know how it reads yet because, like I said, I just haven't had the chance to sit down and work with it yet. But I love the energy that it's giving me. And last but certainly not least, in the meh section, we have a deck in a bag that is too big for it. But we have the Enchanted Tarot, and this is actually what I'll be using for my year ahead spreads in 2018. I decided on this one because I always forget I have this deck. Like all the other decks that I don't really use or work with, I don't forget I have them. I remember I have them. They just don't call to me. Whereas this one, I always forget I have. So I was like, okay, you deserve a little bit more love than everybody else because I forget I have you. So I decided to work with this one, and I'm actually really, really super excited because the imagery is gorgeous. The images are amazeballs. I just said amazeballs, but that's what I think. Look at her. Yes, bitch. The queens in this deck are just like to die for. I heard that they released another version of this. Here's the Queen of Pentacles. I'm just showing you all the queens because they are just amazing. I heard they released like an anniversary edition of this deck, which I actually want to look into because while I do love this deck and I love the size of it, it's nice and small and I can take it with me and I can just like kind of take it on the go with me. And I do have smaller hands, so I appreciate that I can shuffle with it and everything like that. And it only cost me like, what, $3 in my tarot haul. But I would like a bigger deck because I feel like the images would be amazing on a bigger card where I could actually see them better. that is my last meh. It's only in the meh because I haven't worked with it in depth yet, but that is going to change soon. It's actually going to change next month. I'm really excited for that. But I think that's everything that I got in 2017. I didn't include the 2 decks that are on their way to me right now because they haven't arrived yet. They should have arrived yesterday, but with the holiday, they got pushed back. And so I looked at the tracking this morning, and it was weird because they were on their way from Michigan to me in Wisconsin, right? It says that they left Michigan at around, when did it say? Like 3 in the afternoon or 2 in the afternoon or something like that. And then I checked this morning and it said that they just left Michigan again at midnight. And I was like, but you already said it left Michigan. Why did it go back to Michigan? And it still says the same thing right now. I just checked. So I don't know when they're going to be arriving. Apparently they like to stay in Michigan right now. But I have 2 decks on the way. They're coming together. I was gonna wait to film this video until they arrived, but then I realized that wouldn't be fair because I would have a few days to work with them and then decide and then put them in a category. And I didn't feel like that was fair. So they're probably gonna be in 2018's video that I make. I hope that you enjoyed this video. It was a lot of fun to make. It was a little bit of a hassle, I'm not gonna lie, because I had to bring all of my tarot decks down here. Well, not all of them, but the majority of them. I think there's like 3 or 4 still up there. That's about it. I got the majority of my decks in 2017, and that is ridiculous. That is crazy to think of. But it should be a fun 2018 to see where I can work with more, what works for me more, what doesn't work for me more, and I get to pass on to other people. So thank you so much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this video. It's kind of like a little collection run through too, to be honest with you, because like I said, I only have like 4 decks upstairs still. That's so crazy to me. Ugh, I have a problem. I should really count how many decks I have and keep a record of that. I'm afraid to, though. I'm afraid to confront my issues. Yikes. So I'm going to go warm up, drink some hot chocolate or tea, whichever one I decide to do, and get warm in this cold, cold weather. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you guys a little bit later whenever those decks arrive, whenever they decide to leave Michigan and come be with me. I will be putting up a walkthrough unboxing of those. I'm just gonna do one big video for them because they are arriving together and they're from the same creator. So I'm just gonna do that, and I'm also thinking about doing a year ahead spread. I don't really like to do those only because I do the well, okay, I'll put it this way. I do like to do a year ahead spread, but I like to do it with my Kipper deck. I don't like to do it with a tarot spread. So I might make a video about that. I'll do like a year ahead spread for me, but it'll be with my Kipper deck. It's not going to be with a year ahead spread with like a tarot deck or anything like that, because I do monthly pulls with my tarot decks for like the hashtag year ahead thing. So I feel like it would be redundant to do that twice, but so yeah, keep on the lookout for that. I will probably film that sometime this week because I just realized January is next week already. Yikes! Where did the time go? I don't know. Okay, I'm done. I'm leaving now. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you later. Bye!